Thanks for joining us today for our overview of MessageAware Server Threat Guard. I'll present an overview of STG and describe how the threat detection intelligence for STG works. I'll show you a short sample threat simulation and different customer situations where STG could be a welcome addition to your security stack. Finally, I'll present some common questions and answers. In a nutshell, STG is a real-time detection and alerting system for suspicious changes to Windows servers that could indicate the presence of exploits of various types, which we will describe in more detail in a couple of moments. The alerting is based upon server changes and does not depend on any previous knowledge of threats, signatures, or behavioral information. It simply alerts on server changes. STG works on smart operations to focus only on those critical threats that matter. We have built-in rules for Windows Server security. We check the registry, startup files, and the virtual directory integrity of Windows servers, and we catch what others miss, in that we are not looking for any previous behavior patterns. Any of these types of changes can indicate the presence of a potential threat to your security and your servers. We work on an intelligent alerting and reporting system where we minimize the amount of alert fatigue and noise, and focus only on potentially critical and dangerous indicators of a potential threat inside your network. Finally, STG is very fast and simple to deploy. It's essentially an out-of-the-box setup. All of the rules are built in. It's a local application that installs directly on your Windows server. It has virtually no impact or overhead on Windows Server operation. And as mentioned earlier, there are no external dependencies in terms of cloud signatures or previous threat knowledge. Alerts are triggered exclusively on local server changes that may be suspicious. Some examples are shown on the screen here. There are many more, but these include compromised admin credentials used to make off-hours changes to the server, legitimate services being reconfigured to potentially run threat-based software, and virtual directories being changed to enable persistent access to your network from the outside. Scheduled tasks being created or altered to maintain an external foothold on the server or servers. So again, it's all local operation. It detects and alerts on changes that are happening right there on that particular Windows server, so threat detection is very quick. There are no external cloud or signature dependencies, and we believe this results in smarter operations, intelligence, and alerting, minimizing alert fatigue and alert noise. So how does the threat system work? Essentially, we have a 6-part stack. We check the server baseline reference and look for the presence of file types that could indicate a potential threat. We essentially take a snapshot of your Windows server in its safe baseline state and continually compare against that, monitoring for around 100 different file extensions that can indicate the presence of a web shell type exploit. We also check the Windows Task Scheduler, the registry, the event logs, and the startup folders. We have a list of identified potential threats shown on the right. There are others, but the most critical security alerts are outlined here. STG alerts based upon all these criteria, with the intention of identifying critical threats and minimizing alert noise. In addition to all that, we have a function called AutoLearn, which learns about certain processes and services running on your network that can be added to the safe list, processes that may have otherwise been flagged as an unsigned task, or as execution of PowerShell commands, and so on. So if you have these things running in your environment, STG will learn about them. Typically during the first week of operation, AutoLearn identifies local processes that should be marked safe, so that they are not continually flagged as problems. Customers who may be interested in STG include any or all of the following. You may have little or no installed protection. You may be a smaller company with a low perceived risk, thinking you're not at risk, and that simply isn't true anymore. Pretty much all companies of all sizes and types are at risk these days. You may have basic antivirus or built-in security like Windows Defender and want to augment that to protect your servers from more advanced security threats. You may have had experience with expensive or complicated MDR solutions and may be looking for an alternative that is simpler to manage and focuses specifically on threats to Windows servers. In some cases, even with all of this security in place, a threat can still get through, simply because there is no previous knowledge of a new exploit or zero-day type exploit. This is where STG is well positioned, identifying those threats based on changes to the servers. Alert fatigue and noise is an issue in this part of the security space, and STG addresses that by focusing only on the most critical alerts that really matter. Finally, STG works as a standalone solution, or essentially as a plug-in module for larger enterprise security systems where you may want to add a Windows Server threat detection function. A few common questions and answers. Do I need to configure the threat rules and the server health rules? No, you don't. They're all built in. There is a comprehensive list of these rules, and they are all pre-configured for you. You can add your own custom rules, although that really isn't necessary in most installations. Is my data in the cloud? No. There is no part of this data that is in the cloud, and that includes data stored on your server regarding previous threats, as well as the external knowledge dependencies used to identify threats in the first place. It's all local to your Windows servers. What about overhead on Windows servers? As mentioned earlier, there is little or no overhead on your Windows servers. Does this replace my antivirus? No, it works in addition to your antivirus, to identify previously unknown threats that are triggered via server changes. What about MDR solutions I may already have? As covered earlier, STG can work in conjunction with those to provide surface coverage you may not already have, or to provide more advanced Windows Server-specific threat detection. If you have any further questions, please contact us at messageware.com and follow the links, where you can download trial software and find more information. Thanks for joining us. A separate video will follow showing a live demonstration of STG. Thank you.